Hey, what's up everyone? JJ here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at one of the new LEGO Harry Potter sets, and that is for Privet Drive Aunt Marge's Visit. In this video, we're going to take a look at the set. We'll look at each of the minifigures as well as the build techniques used for the exterior and interior of this build. We will briefly compare it to the 2018 version of Privet Drive, but let's jump right in now and take a look at this set. Here we see set 76451, Privet Drive Aunt Marge Visit. This set has 639 pieces and retails in the US for $89.99. This set comes with 5 minifigures, as well as a big fig for Aunt Marge. And the directions are divided into 2 instruction booklets so you can build this set with a friend. Of course, this set comes with Harry Potter with tan mid-legs. We've seen this torso before, however, it's much more detailed here where you can see the under gray shirt, as well as the button down underneath of his jumper, and we get an alternate face print. Nothing super special about this character. I do like the mid legs and the new torso printing. We also get a new minifigure for Dudley, also with the mid legs, which is the first time we've seen that, as well as a new hairpiece he's not usually displayed with. I really like this figure. I like the kind of the bib there on his shirt with some of the stains as well, and I think this hairpiece does work for Dudley in this film. The alternate face print, here we can see Dudley looks a little bit more scared or surprised, so we don't get an angry face print. And here's the back torso printing. I'm actually going to need to investigate to see if mine is an error. The blue there just looks a little bit strange to me, but this might be exactly how it's displayed. Yeah, and looking at Dudley here on the box, it does look like that printing is accurate for the back torso printing with the blue coming over the shoulder. Of course, we also get Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia, and I really like these minifigures. I think this is one of my favorite iterations of Uncle Vernon. I really like the torso printing there, and kind of it does a good job kind of giving him a belly. And Aunt Petunia's shirt is very similar to the previous iteration, and this looks good. Of course, I far prefer their alternate facial expressions when responding to Harry Potter and what they think he's done to Aunt Marge. Speaking of which, we also get an Aunt Marge minifigure. I'm actually really excited about this, and the reason why is I think it sets the precedent that in the future, if we have kind of a blown up big fig type figure, we could still get a minifigure scale version of them. And while that isn't as important to me for this set, that is going to be important for me for the Willy Wonka set, as I don't just want a Blueberry Violet Beauregard, I'd also want just a regular Violet Beauregard girl figure as well. So I'm hoping that we see both characters in the Willy Wonka set. This Aunt Marge figure does not have an alternate face print, but there is some pretty good detailing there on the torso. And of course, here we can see her all blown up as she floats out of the Dursleys' dining room through the back veranda. Looks really good. Very funny face print there. I do wish maybe somehow we had a hairpiece instead of just kind of the printing. It's one of my complaints of the micro scale figures, and it's kind of my same complaint with this, but otherwise I think the torso, arms, and legs looks quite nice. And I think they did a good job with the torso printing there on the blown up version of Aunt Marge. As you can see, it's very similar to what we see with the minifigure version in terms of the coloring and the printing. Of course, it's, ripping at the seams because she's not supposed to be in an outfit that small for her size that she's blowing into. But all in all, a really fun figure. And here we can see we also get Aunt Marge's pup. Really cute little dog figure here. I really like that. I think the printing on the face looks really good with the coloring as well as the eyes and the mouth. I always like when we have additional minifigures for different animals, and I like the dual colored molding there for the collar in blue as well. That's not a separate piece. So let's start off and take a look at the exterior of Privet Drive. One thing that is cool about this version of the set is it is fully enclosed. So previous versions have been kind of dollhouse style where the back was open. Here we see a fully enclosed build that of course you can open to reveal the inside. This set also comes with a for Privet Drive, or I guess just Privet Drive sign there with the owl. And I really like the build here for the street lamp as well. Looking here at the front of the Privet Drive house, I really like kind of all the different greenery and plants they have. This is a really nice kind of tree as well as some bushes. I also quite like kind of the potted plant here on the side. And I think the sticker piece they use both for the the 4 number on the front door, as well as a sticker piece to show kind of all the letters being jammed into the mail slot work really well for this set. Each of the glass windows also has a sticker piece kind of with the different window panes there going in a diagonal pattern, which kind of just adds to the English feel of this house. I also like the rain gutter we see here, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that black rain gutter piece is going to be very similar, if not the same piece, to the broom piece we're going to see in the Diagon Alley expansion. Nothing too crazy here on the side, just kind of reiterate some of the color usage. We see that tan as well as the nougat color used for the exterior of the house. There's gonna be some gray pieces as well, but it's really cool when you look over here at the back, which is probably my favorite portion of this house. Of course, we are gonna see Harry Potter's window with the bars, as well as this ladder leading up to it in the back door. You're also going to see, of course, this little opening here for the dining room, which we know Aunt Marge is going to fly out of once she is enlarged. And there's also kind of this little birdhouse as well. So really cool back design here. Nothing too crazy on this other side where the cloths kind of hold the two pieces together. I already want to spend a quick second just looking here at the roof. It's just a dark brown. There's some embellishments there with some shingles of a lighter brown, and I really like the different leaf pieces they have kind of having landed on the roof of 4 Privet Drive. For this set, I actually quite enjoy the interior. I think it looks quite nice. We see both a dining area, a seating area, kind of the foyer, the cupboard under the stairs. You see Harry Potter's room. You see Dudley's massive bedroom. And we also see a bathroom, which I don't know why Lego does that. I would have happily just have made it Harry Potter's room bigger, put various school supplies, some books in there, anything really other than a bathroom. But let's take a look at each of these rooms. Of course, here's the foyer when you first walk in from the front door, and similarly to the exterior, there's a nice sticker piece there, kind of showing Uncle Vernon boarding up the mail slot. Even though this set focuses on Aunt Marge's visits, I do like the details from both the first and second film. Of course, here we see the reference to the first with the letters to the door, and we also, of course, saw the reference to the Chamber of Secrets with the bars over Harry's window. And then there on the wall, we can see what looks like a telephone as well as an umbrella, and there's a sticker portrait of Big Ben. Next, we will look at the cupboard under the stairs here. If you notice, there is a door that kind of leads into the cupboard. And we can't see much from this angle, but you can kind of make out Harry Potter's bed there. But if we go around the exterior, we kind of lift up the ladder and open the door, we can see another entrance here to Harry's room. It kind of just shows us a little bit more of how small it is and what it looks like, and the cupboard under the stairs. We also see a figure there in red, probably to represent one of those knight figures he has in the films. This, of course, leads to my favorite area, both the dining room as well as the kitchen. Here in the kitchen, of course, we can see some sweet treats, as well as a television, and there is also kind of a stove and a cooking area, as well as a counter with some table and chairs. Now, this table and chair area kind of lifts up very easily off of the floor of the dining room, and I think if you potentially want to open up this room and kind of display your characters eating there in the backyard on the veranda. Here we also see a small build for the living room. We have an armchair as well as a fireplace, and again there coming out of the fireplace is a letter. We see a television there as well as a clock, and then probably one of my favorite stickers is going to be that portrait of Vernon, Petunia, and Dudley, where he just kind of looks ridiculous in his outfit for his school. And moving up the stairs to Harry Potter's room, of course here we can see in the hallway some pictures of Dudley as well as a sunset, and then we get to Harry Potter's room itself. Fairly small. Like I said, you can see the window there that has the bars to be pulled off. This set does not come with a Ford Anglia, which is quite different than the other two versions of Privet Drive. We also see a Gryffindor poster, as well as every flavored beans and Harry's bed. And then again, like I said earlier, next to Harry Potter's bed is a restroom. It's a fine toilet build, I guess. I don't know what else I could possibly say about it that would be interesting, but there it is. What is interesting, however, to me is Dudley's room, and I like all the different references and details that are displayed throughout. Of course, here on the right, we just have a bed, and then we get to Dudley's computer. We can see lots of different computer games with a keyboard and mouse, as well as his chair. I think that's a boxing or wrestling, I think it's a boxing poster. And then we also see kind of hidden here in the corner a bunch of treats. There's ice creams, donuts, and cookies. And then we also see a video game press to play. And what I really like about this is this set comes with one of those video game controllers, which is just a really fun addition to Privet Drive. All in all, Privet Drive was a fun set to build, and I really liked some of the references with Aunt Marge there. However, it wasn't as exciting as I expected. I don't think the exterior looks as nice as the previous version of Privet Drive, especially with some of the build techniques used there for the plants. And I think Aunt Marge, while she looks great, all blown up, I really think they should have done something to give her almost like a hairpiece that would have worked a little bit better. With that being said, this is probably my favorite Vernon and Dudley minifigure, so I'm really happy that we have that included in the set. And while I will do a full proper comparison video of these two sets at another time, I just want to do a quick comparison here in this video just to show you some of the major differences that I think are unfortunately downgrades or weaknesses to this newer set. The first thing being the roof. I actually really loved kind of that brick built roof that we got with the earlier 2018 version of this set, and it just doesn't look quite as good here in this newer set. And I also like kind of the multi-levels of the roof there as well. We kind of see a very similar printed piece there for the doors. I do think they actually did improve upon it, so I was happy about that. But I think I prefer kind of the decorations and the plants out front of the older version. So those are just a few of the external factors to make me like the older set a little bit better, and it is a little bit taller too. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to stay updated with LEGO leaks, rumors, news, and reviews, hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you all next time. And let me know down in the comments what you think of 4 Privet Drive Aunt Marge's Visit.